Tittle Tattle episode 99.08, I think. It starts right now with a fan favorite, Don Lemon, or sometimes he's called Don Lemon. We have lemons growing outside right now. They're bittersweet, and maybe that's how you feel about your love relationship with Don Lemon. Bill, let's watch this quick clip because Tulsi Gabbard and Don Lemon are now on Team Twitter, otherwise known as X. They have signed exclusive deals to host shows on the platform. And Don Lemon, I recently noticed on his profile picture on Twitter, is a free speech advocate with the First Amendment on his t-shirt. But let's look at Don Lemon 5 years ago.
So, John Fredericks, the reality is that these racist, xenophobic views are one of the most consistent opinions that this president has.
Well, Don, it's not about race, as you like to make it, because that's easy and lazy. It's about economics. My comment back to Maria is your children are going to have a much better economic future and a better chance for a good job than they would have had under another president. Now, let me, you called on me, so let me finish. Truer words.
You know what, John Fredericks? You know what, John Fredericks? John, until that last comment, I'm going to cut you off. Can we please cut him off? Can we take him off the screen? Can we take him? Can we get rid of John Fredericks? Thank you. First of all, I was going to let him speak until you doubly insulted me. I don't even need to respond to the lazy comment. I laid it all out in the thing. We can have this conversation, and we don't need someone who's going to make excuses for racism.
Okay, the reason that I share that is not because I think that was a free speech First Amendment violation, but because according to Reclaim the Net, they quote Don Lemon as saying he wants to finally have conversations without the hall monitors. He doesn't want hall monitors telling people what they can and cannot say. But it's funny because I kind of equated Don Lemon as a hall monitor. Was I wrong to think of him that way at one point in time? Has he had a change of heart, Bill? What's going on?
I will tell you this. Here's the Don Lemon is such an intriguing person to me because that guy, he shifts gears more than a 10-speed bicycle, because that was 5 years ago where he cuts the guy off and said, and I kind of understand if you insult me too. I don't want to hear what you're saying. If we're going to have civil discourse, let's have civil discourse without, the insults. But, it's still intriguing. But, probably it was a couple of years before that, Don Lemon was on CNN telling the black community, hey, if you want to be employable, if you want to be respected, pull your pants up, stop calling each other the N-word, and had this long list of things that he's telling black people to do. And then it's just, he's Mr. Flippity Flop himself. I'm still waiting to see if anything ever became of the lawsuit where he allegedly sexually assaulted a gay guy at a New York bar. So I don't know what, I mean, but this goes back. We had this conversation before. I want to say when Tucker Carlson first started doing his show on X, and then X, in conjunction with the Daily Wire, did a free screening of What is a Woman. So I think Twitter, under Elon Musk's flag, is pushing to become the new bastion of media on the internet. And they got some heavy hitters now. Whether you like Don Lemon or not, the guy moves the needle. Whether you like Tulsi Gabbard or not, I'm a big Tulsi fan. She moves the needle. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all comes out in the next few months.
Okay, here's the quote that Reclaim the Net has. In a statement, Lemon said, "You'll find it first on X, the biggest space for free speech in the world. I know now more than ever that we need a place for honest debate and discussion without the hall monitors. This is just the beginning, so stay tuned." Do you think that his termination after saying Nikki Haley was not in her prime has given him sort of a wake-up call that he should be able to say what he wants without losing his job, or that there should be an open, fair debate? Because, I mean, hey, listen, she would argue that he was rude about her like that guy was rude to him. I don't know. I mean, do you think he now for some reason has woken up? And I'm going to show one more clip in a second, but do you think that's changed his mind on this?
It might have changed his mind a little bit. He may have seen the light so to speak. But let's be also clear about one thing. The guy who insulted Don Lemon, yeah, Don Lemon cut his mic and said, get him out of here. But that guy didn't lose his job. Don Lemon lost his job. And Don Lemon, he had a cantankerous last year or two at CNN, and I think they were looking for a reason. And then the Nikki Haley stuff, that was just the icing on the cake. It's like, okay, now HR has enough to get rid of this guy. So
could be. Just a forewarning to everybody who's watching this free somewhere like Rumble or later on YouTube. If you're not on the editorial board, you don't get the show in its entirety. Bill and I do this every week as a thank you to supporters. And so you'll get a quick clip of it. But if you want the show in its entirety, consider subscribing over on Rockfin or become part of my editorial board on Locals or over on Patreon. Those folks get the show in its entirety, but otherwise you will just get a quick clip. And you want to hear Bill's final take on the next video I'm about to show, where Don Lemon goes off with Chris Cuomo, both now canned from the CNN experience. Before we go any further, though, don't forget, it's a new year full of all kinds of melodrama. Prepare for it well by having your Allison Wine promo stocked somewhere safe. You might be an extremist who has only a few more days or weeks left of freedom. Celebrate by getting some AllisonWinePromo.com. All right. These are extremist altitude Malbecs for the taste buds of the extremists. They come from very remote regions of Argentina, high altitude, extremist altitude, 6,000 to 9,000 feet. You get 50% off the wine and 50% off shipping. You cannot find wines like this anywhere else. I promise you. They are vetted by actually Will Bonner, who's going to be coming on the show to talk about some of their stuff. Very pro free speech company, have been great to me over the years. And if you're a wine drinker, it's a great way to support my work, AllisonWinePromo.com. Also, go to greenpasture.org, get yourself some omegas, vitamin Ds. I used to get cavities all the time before I started taking their products. I actually take the fermented cod liver oil, concentrated butter oil blend. I do the cinnamon flavor. If you use promo code Allison10, you get 10% off of your order. You can also use the link in the description of the pinned comment and the description of the video. That'll take you right there. If you just go to greenpasture.org, promo code Allison10. This is just overall great for the winter season as well, when we're getting a lot less sun. Okay. Do you think we should do this for supporters only, or should we play a quick clip and then give our opinion after?
No. If you are a supporter only, thank you. And you will be watching this show in its entirety. If you're not, what are you waiting for, man? You should have been supporting Allison a long time ago. So. Okay,
I'm going to play 10 seconds of this, and then I'm going to cut it for everybody but supporters, all right? Because this is what you're going to get to hear.
Not everyone, but some of the people out there with those protests, they could be helping it figure.
I want to say, they're talking about COVID protests, COVID lockdown protests, okay? This is a couple years ago, and they're very upset about people protesting the loss of civil liberties during COVID. They're very upset about it. Here's Don.
Out how to do some of those things, too. So we got to talk. I got some breaking.
He could be shouting those protests down too. They're his people.
Okay. Man. Yeah. He should be shutting those protests down, Chris Cuomo says. Okay.
He's saying, go home. Don't do this. I don't want you doing this. You don't represent what I'm about.
Do you really want
to say that?
You don't want me going there, because it makes me so angry, because every night when I leave this studio and when I come in, there's an army of people. When I go through New York City, an army of immigrants and people of color and poor people who are keeping this city running. They are disinfecting offices. They are cleaning people. They are changing bedpans, and they are working. And those people are out there complaining because they don't have haircuts? Who the hell do you think you are?
Okay, you want to see more of Don Lemon go off, all right, and talk about protests. And he's going to qualify that he thinks it's legal to protest, but he just really wishes that you would just go home. Okay, so that's Don Lemon then. Don Lemon now says he wants conversations without hall monitors on Twitter, and he was wearing a First Amendment T-shirt. Don, come on my show. Explain this change of heart. What's happened? What's the epiphany about? Please, I want to have you on the show. Brian Stelter, you no longer can use the excuse that you're under contract at CNN. Come on the show. Let's talk about the vaccine selfies you wanted everybody to post. Please, Brian, I'm here. One final quick thing before we go for supporters only and watch the rest of this video and give you our final opinions on everything is Tulsi had this deal with Locals. So something happened And I'm guessing it's a money thing. She had some deal with Locals back when Locals first launched. And now sounds like it's like the same idea, basically exclusive content. And she's going to get a minimum payout from the platform. That's how these deals usually work. You know, no matter how many views you get, we'll make sure we guarantee a certain amount of money per month. My guess is she just went with the highest hand, and that's what's up. All right. There he is in all his glory. Don Lemon with the First Amendment t-shirt. Hey, don't forget, everybody, if you want to send me a letter and you want to support me through the mail, just no creepy letters and nothing edible, because I'm not going to eat it for fear that you might be sending me anthrax or something. The P.O. box I have now for that is P.O. Box 3355, Denellen, Florida, 34432. I've had people send me pictures of their family, cards, send me a lottery ticket, send me your pocket lint, whatever, as long as it's not creepy, like I said. Some people don't like to do the credit card thing online, and I totally understand that. So I've loved getting the letters. It's really been a great way to connect with people. So don't forget about the P.O. box option.